Hey Bears fans, before we jump into today's Chicago Bears news, make sure you guys are subscribing to the channel. We're getting a little bit closer to the 49ers report, and hey, if we get more subscribers this week than they do, that gives the Bears a better chance of winning. That's just how things work. So subscribe if you want more Bears news, rumors, coverage leading up to the trade deadline. We are the channel for you. It's youtube.com/BearsNow. In today's video, well, got to talk about Khalil Mack. Things are not looking good for the Bears superstar. Welcome into Chicago Bears Now. I am your host, Harrison Graham. Is Khalil Mack heading to injured reserve? Seems like that is very much a possibility. Ian Rapoport tweeted earlier this morning that he is not expected to play this week against the 49ers. He, of course, as you guys know, has been playing through a foot injury basically all season. He hasn't practiced since week 1, but he's been active for game days and he's been balling out. He's been managing the injury the best he can, but it sounds like he may not be able to manage it at least the way he has been for the next couple of weeks. So the Bears apparently are internally discussing whether or not to put him on injured reserve. That is being discussed within the building at Hallis Hall. He's been hurt all season. We know that, but he's been a warrior. He's been playing. He's been active on game days. He hasn't practiced in more than a limited capacity, I don't think, since week 1. I mean, that's just been the way it's gone. I think he had a sprained foot after one of those games, week 1, week 2, and he's been trying to manage it all season, but it's hard to do that over 17 weeks like he's been trying to do. You're almost at the halfway point, but at some point the pain tolerance is going to be a lot to overcome, and with the bye week coming up, maybe this makes sense to go ahead and put him on IR, which is unfortunate because injury or not, Khalil Mack's been tremendous this year. I mean, he's got 6 sacks, 19 tackles, 7 QB hits, 6 TFLs. He's been all over the place. He looks like the Mack of old as he's on pace for, a 15-plus sack season. He's been that good for Chicago this year, but he's not healthy, and he hasn't been healthy. He's been playing. He's been balling out on Sundays, but it's, eventually wear and tear, pain tolerance, that stuff catches up to you, and that's kind of where we sit right now with Khalil Mack, which, interestingly enough, we're 6 days away from the NFL trade deadline. I don't think he's a guy the Bears would trade midseason, but now it's like, okay, what do you do? Do you consider trading him? Is he even tradable? Do you go trade for someone to replace him? We'll talk about some replacements later on in the show. Really bizarre timing for the Bears and Khalil Mack. What is your one-word reaction to Mack possibly going to injured reserve? Let us know down in the comments. We'll make this the pinned comment on today's video, so if you get hit with the YouTube ad break, just let us know in one word, what is your one-word reaction to Khalil Mack possibly going to injured reserve? My one word is just brutal, man. I mean, it's brutal, right? The hits keep on coming for the Chicago Bears. All of a sudden, the injuries, the COVID outbreak, it's all piling up for this team, and it continues to hit, significant players on this roster. I mean, these are just some of the notable guys. There's more guys who have been banged up. Khalil Mack now dealing with the foot. Akeem Hicks with a groin injury. Tevin Jenkins, we haven't seen the second-round rookie all year with that back surgery he had. Robert Quinn has COVID. Who knows if he's going to be able to play on Sunday. David Montgomery obviously is on injured reserve with the knee injury. That doesn't include guys like Jermaine Ifedi. Now Elijah Wilkinson is on the COVID list as well. They've had a ton. Larry Borum, who could come back this week, but the injuries they keep piling up, man. They just keep piling up, and that's tough to navigate, especially when you're a team that's reeling already with 2 straight losses and kind of in a must-win situation against the 49ers, a team that's been struggling as well. If you want any chance to make the playoffs this year, you got to beat San Francisco on Sunday. You just have to. And so not having Khalil Mack is not ideal in a game that you basically have to have. If you hate injury, spam H in the comments. No one likes to see people get injured. No one likes when guys go down. If you're one of those people who cheers for opposing players getting hurt, that's not cool with me. I'm not a fan of that. But obviously, when your best player is getting injured in Khalil Mack, it's not good. So type H if you hate injuries. Shout out to BetUS for being our sportsbook partner all season long, and I have made a ton of money in recent weeks because your boy is 16-4 betting the NFL the last month. You guys can make some money as well at chatsports.com/bears. Use the promo code BEARDOWN. It's all one word, bear down, once you go to chatsports.com/bears. I will tweet out my picks of the week on Sunday morning, so stay tuned for that. But if you want to bet on this game, the Bears game against the 49ers, some interesting odds here. Between Chicago and San Francisco. The 49ers are 3.5-point favorites at Soldier Field. That line has yet to move despite the latest Khalil Mack development. The over-under set for just 39.5. Vegas expecting a very low-scoring game. So if you want to make some money on this game or bet on some other games, one place to do it, chatsports.com/bears. Use that promo code BEARDOWN with BetUS. Okay, so that's kind of the injury discussion of Khalil Mack. Looks like he could be heading to IR. We'll see. The Bears have until Saturday if they want to start that short-term IR process. So we'll see what happens over the next couple of days. Let's take a look at some Khalil Mack replacements now. Obviously, you start internal. You look at a guy like Trevis Gipson, who played last week for Robert Quinn, didn't do much, but we've seen him flash, seen him pop a little this year. It's his time to shine and get more opportunities in the coming weeks, assuming Mack is unavailable. He has 2 sacks this year. I like what he did throughout training camp and in the preseason. He's got to step up. It's just as simple as that. You need Trevis Gipson to step up, and he's not going to replace Mack on his own, but can he be 70% of the player, 75%? Can he give you some production coming off the edge? You really need him to, because it's not just Mack who's injured and banged up. Akeem Hicks is banged up as well. We don't know what his status is going to be, so you need a guy like Trevis Gipson to step up, and we don't know if Robert Quinn's going to play on Sunday against the 49ers, as he is still on the COVID list at this point in time. Do you believe in Trevis Gipson, the second-year player for the Chicago Bears? Type Y for yes, type in for no. I like him. I want to see more. I want to see how he can play in kind of a more full-time role, which looks like he will be getting over the next couple of weeks. Let me know, though. Y for yes and for no. Do you believe in Trevis Gipson? Let's look at some free agent options now. How about signing Olivier Vernon, who, I didn't even realize this, had 9 sacks last year for Cleveland, played really well, but he tore his Achilles late in the year. It's been kind of mum the word on what his status is, if he's fully recovered. I mean, you look at it, it's probably about 10 months now. I've seen a couple of articles suggesting certain teams should sign him, so maybe him and his agent have given the green light, but it hasn't been a big story, so it's possible he's still in the recovery process, but it's kind of crazy. He seems like he's been around for a while, which he has. He's only 30, though. So, I mean, if he can be healthy and you can sign him for cheap, I mean, that's a guy I'd be interested, Mack injury or not. He, of course, is coming off that Achilles, like I mentioned, but he's a productive player when he's healthy. He's been one of the better pass rushers in the NFL over the past half decade or so. So I think that's a name worth monitoring. We'll see if Ryan Pace in this front office potentially reach out to him and his reps to bring him in for a workout. Khalil Mack, well, hope you get some Magic Spoon and magically get back soon because, hey, it's the best cereal in the game. Get $5 off at magicspoon.com/bears. I'm rocking with the cocoa flavor today. That's what I crushed this morning for my morning bowl of cereal, which is always Magic Spoon because it's the best in the game, because it's healthy for you, but it's also delicious, high in protein, sugar-free, low in carbs. It's the best of both worlds because it's sweet and delicious, and it has a ton of different flavors. Go check them out, magicspoon.com/bears. Get $5 off your first order. Grab a box, grab 4 boxes. It's Magic Spoon cereal. So Olivier Vernon, the next Khalil Mack replacement. So let's take a look at a couple more here. How about Vic Beasley? Remember him? He led the NFL in sacks, I believe, in 2015. Well, he hadn't done much since. Last year played in 10 games for 2 teams, had just 4 tackles. So, listen, if you think Vic Beasley is going to save the day, I think you're mistaken. He's pretty washed at this point, if we're being completely honest. But he's a notable name. Bring him in for a workout. Maybe he shows you a little something. But I'll be honest, he's probably not someone I'm all that interested in at the end of the day. I'm also not that interested in Aldon Smith, who actually played fairly well for Dallas last year. Seattle signed him, but then he had some more legal trouble pop up, so that's obviously not an ideal situation. Had 5 sacks a year ago. I'll pass on him. You should not be desperate enough if you're Chicago to sign Aldon Smith. It's not like he's the difference in you making a deep playoff run. Let's be honest. I mean, if it's a a real contender, you're like 5-2, you lose your top pass rusher, maybe you're willing to bring in a guy like him with his the baggage he comes with. But at 3-4, I mean, I think there's other options if you're Chicago instead of a guy like Aldon Smith. You look at the upcoming schedule, the next 5 weeks. Obviously, the 49ers this week, that is the focus. Then you're at Pittsburgh before the bye. So if you put Mack on IR, you could get him back for that Week 11 game against Baltimore. You'd miss 2 games, but if you're going to do it, it probably makes sense to do it now. So we'll see. Ryan Pace, Matt Nagy, the staff has to make a decision on what to do with Khalil Mack. What is the record going to be over the next 5 weeks? 4 games, 5 weeks. You got the Niners, you got the Steelers, you got the Ravens, and you got the Lions. I still think you got a good chance to beat the Niners. You should beat the Lions, although it's on the road. Pittsburgh on the road, we'll see. Baltimore at home, that's probably going to be a tough one. 2-2, I mean, is that kind of what you're looking at? Let us know what you guys think. What will the Bears' record be over the next 5 weeks? So Khalil Mack, is he heading to IR? We will find out. Matt Nagy set to talk with the media later today, so we will have you guys updated either in the comment section. We'll pin a new comment if something new comes through, or if there's a major development, we'll pop on and do another video, which is why you should subscribe, youtube.com/BearsNow. I'll keep you guys up to date with everything around Khalil Mack and everything else leading up to Sunday's game against the 49ers. I'm Harrison Graham. We will see you guys soon here on the channel.